Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine. The time to say yes to your dreams and aspirations is here.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of our Instagram live session. My name, like I always say, has not changed. My name remains Azuh Arinze, and my guest tonight is Mr. Richard Wetson Enawolo Evans Mofe Damijo, popularly known as RMD. Mr. Mofe Damijo is undoubtedly one of Nigeria's biggest and most iconic actors. A former commissioner for culture and tourism in Delta State, he is also a writer, producer, lawyer, businessman, and PR practitioner. Born on July 6, 1961 in Alaja, Delta State, the 60-year-old superstar had his primary education at Roman Catholic Mission School 3 and the secondary at Midwest College and Anglican Grammar School, all in Warri, Delta State. Thereafter, he proceeded to the universities of Benin and Lagos, where he read theater arts and law, respectively. Married to Jumobi and blessed with children and grandchildren. Among his popular works are Shame, The Prize, Checkmate, Ripples, Out of Bounds, Hostages, Friends, Fans, Followers. Join me as I welcome RMD to tonight's Instagram live session. Please remember to follow us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is the YesNG TV. THEYESNG TV. Thank you. Our guest is here. All right. Now, after 60, and with all you've accomplished there so far, what next? What new chapters of your life should we be looking forward to reading next?
Well, I'm hoping that I have the strength to continue doing what I'm doing, because no time better than now have we needed leadership in different aspects of our lives, of our national lives, leadership at different levels in Africa. So I see myself serving humanity a lot more. At least in the next decade, I'm going to dedicate myself to the service of humanity in whatever capacity I find myself. Because having had life until this minute, I think that it is only proper to dedicate the rest of my life to humanity, to the service of humanity.
Wow, interesting. Now, you took out, you really took out time, to plan and prepare for your 60th birthday. Any specific reason for that?
Well, I wouldn't say I took time to prepare for it. It's friends were amazing. I mean, friends did all the work. They just asked me to dress up and show up.
I like that.
My wife was. They recruited my wife, and I was out of town. I was filming in Miami, and I came back 3 days before my birthday, and it was only then that I knew the extent of work that had been put into celebrating me. So it was quite a bit of planning on the part of my friends and of course my wife. I recall begging my wife to sleep after the last 48 hours that I saw that she hadn't slept. So it was quite a tough time for her.
Interesting. Now, on that Tuesday, July 6, 2021, when you woke up, what was
Yes.
the first thing you did?
Yes. My children were around. I had prayed with them the night before. Um, I just bless God because for those who don't know my story, both my mom and my dad, they didn't live to be 60. And so for me, this was a very, very significant birthday for me. And so waking up healthy, strong, with my family around me, not all my children or all my grandchildren, but at least some of my kids around me being healthy. I mean, it was all I needed to have to be able to be thankful to God for being alive. I am so thankful and I'm so grateful that I saw that day, that like 6. And I'm hoping that come another decade, I will still be even stronger and be alive to celebrate
Amen.
another birthday.
Amen. Now, what would you say has been the greatest lesson that life has taught you at 60?
So be humble that you don't lose anything. It's like what they say when one candle lights another, it doesn't lose anything. My life has been one of 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 teaching. I love to be able to teach. Every moment in teaching when I have company of younger people or sometimes even older people. I'm a man of faith, and so that is from where philosophy of life is taken from. I keep it simple. I have discovered that that if you do not lose your humanity, you are able to touch a lot more people with kindness, with love as the basis of every relationship. Because I think that what has happened to us as a people is that we have lost our humanity. We have stopped caring for one another. And it is not just a Christian principle. It is a love, it is a justice, it's an equity principle of life where if I look out for you as my neighbor, just the way you look out for me as my neighbor, then we will constantly be at peace. And I think that this is what we have lost as a people. And if we constantly remind ourselves that life is short and love should rule instead of war, we will be all better for it.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, what do you consider, your greatest accomplishment at 60?
That's. I don't think I've accomplished anything at all. There are people who I don't. I say this with every sense of modesty because it is not about the cars or houses or anything. For me, from those who know me, that family is number one. It's about family. It's about caring. It's about being at peace, finding an equilibrium in life, finding your balance. And for me, that is a lot more than any amount of money in any bank. I have peace of mind, which is invaluable. I am at peace with myself and my family and my neighbor and my God over and above everything else. I have found that balance. I have found that peace, that's equilibrium with my maker.
Interesting. Now, for 3 decades, R&B has continued to remain relevant to occupy a front row seat, in his profession. What is the secret?
Oh, I think over and above everything first, because sometimes I'm not one of those who believe that I'm self-made. I don't think so. It takes a commitment, and
Wow.
when because I'm an actor, so I always say that I I was trained to be ready. My life is about preparing. So I am constantly prepared to be challenged. I'm constantly prepared to welcome new challenges or to do new things. And so that is it for me. I'm constantly prepared. So because of preparedness, I'm ready to fly at every point in time in my life. So grace meets hard work, and that's it. That's what keeps me, on my toes. So there I am, actor, prepared, rehearsed, and ready to climb the stage and do the main thing. And on top of that, you are then graced, by your maker. There is no way, there is no way you will not be relevant all the days of your life. Because Azuh, my work is about constantly standing in front of people and communicating with them. So if at every point in time that I have the opportunity to communicate with my audience, they see that first and foremost, my hands are raised. I'm an open book. I come from a place of truth. No airs, no extras. I come to you from a place of truth. Then you can see through me. Then you can see my spirit. If you can see my spirit, if you can see my inner being, you will know that I come from a place of truth. And the world loves to connect to truth. The world loves to connect with love, with peace. And so when they find those elements that they can relate with, then they will stay with you. And what has happened for me is that I have been able to constantly say to my audience that I will never let you down. Even when I let you down, I will come to you and say to you, I am sorry. I will always come from a place of truth. And I'm not afraid to fail, because if you don't know failure, then you will not even know success when it comes. Yes.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, before I forget, when will R&D, start appearing in courts? I mean, having returned to the university at some point, to acquire a law degree.
Well, because you put lawyers only in courts. You don't put lawyers in pigeonholes. I belong to it. I belong to the group of new lawyers
Okay.
who tell people like you that going to court is not what defines a lawyer. Okay,
Interesting.
it's his ability to use the law to make society a better place. So wherever
Interesting.
a lawyer finds himself, he has to be able to use the law to improve that place. I speak in conferences, I speak in closed meetings, I offer legal opinions, I write legal opinions, and for as I do free consultations to half of my colleagues who will call me and say for me to
Bros.
to read a contract and bro, see what this producer they do me, what did I go do, that kind of thing. Young models come to me and say, somebody used my picture, sir. What do I do? So I am constantly offering legal advice and
Advice.
directing them to people who need who do direct practice.
All right, interesting, interesting. Now, what does an actor need, to understand his script and to be able to fully interpret it?
Well, for you, first and foremost, for you to call yourself an actor, there's some element of training or acceptance of your craft. And so like I said to you earlier, there's some form of preparation involved, or studying or practicing involved in your life as an actor. So ability for me in this question is granted or is given, right? So if the ability is already there, then when you know what your ability is, what you are capable of doing, when you get your script, after the first read, you should know whether or not it is something that you have the ability to be able to do. Because after all, acting is make believe, right? Trying to convince people that what is not is, right?
That's
And
true.
that is from where I come from, a new school, which is my school is the school of coming from a place of truth. Whether you are using the method, or you are using personality, or you are using whatever acting skills or styles you are using. Once the common denominator is that there is believability. Everybody will relate to you when you are doing that role. So an actor needs to understand his capabilities, and once he does that, you will find that there is a connection between you and any character that you are supposed to play. For me, it's almost spiritual. I say to people when I get this question all the time, that when they ask me, how do you choose your character? I always say that my characters actually choose me now. Because if I take a script, if I take a script, and I read it, if I'm not acting if in 1 minute, Azuh, and I'm serious, if in 1 minute I'm not acting, I'm not enjoying it, I'm not connected, and I begin to struggle, 5 minutes into it, I'm still struggling, 10 minutes into it, I'm still struggling, chances are I wouldn't do it. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
Interesting.
yes.
Now, to have a taste of success
Mm,
in acting, what must
mm.
one do?
Again, ability to transcend the known, because it's a universe. When whatever it is, when you're doing a film, you are entering a universe. Okay, you are entering a world that is not seen to the ordinary eye. So it is the minute you enter into that world that the world will begin to see the other world. That is our world will begin to see that universe through you. So you have to be able to transport. You have to be able to tell everybody to suspend disbelief. They have to be able to suspend their belief or disbelief momentarily. It's like when you go watch a football match, right? In that 90 minutes, you are locked in there. If you have chosen a side, every other person is the enemy, right? If you have chosen a side, any other person rooting for the other team is an enemy. Look at what we do between Arsenal fans and Chelsea or Liverpool. Look at how far we take it in Nigeria.
Abuse.
Look at you. See how much how much difference just colors can do to us. Just look at what happened in England when they lost the match to Italy. I mean,
Yeah.
ordinarily responsible people, they take on a new dimension. So that's the same
They
thing.
became irresponsible.
They became hoodlums. So an actor needs to be able to transport people into that world. And when you go into that world, you must believe what you see in that 90 minutes or in that 120 minutes or that 2 hours or that 3 hours movie. You have to be able to lock them in there, and that's it. That's once you can do that repeatedly, over and over. That's when you begin to taste success. So you taste it
Interesting.
in every film you do, or every stage play you do, or every comedy
Interesting.
skit this day that you do.
All right.